All right, so we are live on couple of Facebook pages. We are live on couple of Facebook groups, and we are definitely waiting for people to trickle in here. We are almost close to 100. Let's see how far we go. It's 2nd October, so hopefully people are at home and they will be joining in at the last minute. Meanwhile, why don't you tell us which all cities are you from? So in quickly in the chat, if you guys can tell me which all cities are you from, it'll just help me position you, place you. Shivam, Kolkata; Sonal, Bangalore; Ludhiana, Sangeeta, Mumbai; Noida, Kanpur; Pune, Delhi; Bangalore, Ernakulam; meet Bangalore; Mumbai, Rajkot; Gurgaon; Siliguri; Belgaum, Kutch; Bangalore; Burdwan; Hyderabad; Kanpur; Pune; Jaipur; Ajmer; Nagpur; Meerut; Jalandhar; Mumbai; Tamil Nadu; Gurgaon; New Delhi; Patiala; Gurgaon; Thane; Amritsar; Mumbai. Super awesome. Keep on telling me which all cities are you from. Misha is from Surat. Hey, Misha. Jasbir is from Kapurthala. Bhopal, Rima, Ashwini, Sivakasi, Ishita, Delhi; Ocean, Patiala; Shreya, Bangalore; Susmita, West Bengal. Oh, what is special about today's webinar? Asha, you have joined in. That's very, very special for us. And today it's 2nd October. That's very special for us. Third, on a 2nd October, you want to know about some careers for yourself or maybe for your kids. I do not know who are you. You're a parent or a student. That's very special. So there are a lot of things special about today's webinar, either which ways. Sheetal Sarda, Beed; Sangeeta Chaturvedi, Ahmedabad; Anita, happy Gandhi Jayanti to you too; Palak from Bareilly; Balmukund Sumanil, Mumbai. I have somebody from Lonavala. How is the weather out there in Lonavala? Come on, who lives in Lonavala? Lonavala is a vacation city. Okay, let's wait for 4-5 more minutes and then we will definitely start. I have two amazing panelists with me. I have Miss Elif Turel. She hails from Turkey, but is currently working with Indus International School, Pune, as Head of Guidance and College Placements. And then I have Anju Deoskar, Associate Director for Admissions in one of the finest universities in India, which is Flame. And then my name is Abhishek Gupta, and I'm going to be the host for the day today for you. So sit back, relax. Preeti from Ludhiana. And how many R's and E's are there in it, Preeti? It's Prreeti. Super. Sheetal Sarda, my daughter is in grade 10. Nice. Payal Agarwal from Mumbai. Weather is cool and pleasant. Maheshwar. Thank you, Maheshwar. Would love to come and visit Lonavala very soon. Divleen from Ludhiana. Nishi from Mumbai. Sujal, Amritsar. Shweta Kedia, good evening. Great. We are almost upward of 170. And we still are 1 minute away from our scheduled starting time, and we are 3 minutes away from our actual starting time. So sit back, relax. We'll definitely start soon. Okay, Eva Rajput. I'm a student in grade 12 looking for clarity on which college should I go for studying mass communication and journalism. Eva, we have a very good section of questions around mass communication and journalism today. So I presume that you should definitely sit through the entire session. I have some very good questions around some amazing careers that can emerge from mass communication as well as journalism. Seema Bhatia, equally excited. So let me ask you this question before we start, because we still have some time to start. So this is going to be a good poll. You will have to type two things in the chat. So you have to pick one. Okay. So this is a pick one game. So let's play a pick one game. You can't say both. You can't say either. You can't say neither. Okay. So the pick one game is, would you take given everything goes normal, would you take a vacation or would you buy a luxury car? Which one would you pick? So considering that we have been into a lockdown, let's see the quick poll. Vacation, 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 luxury car. Okay, vacation, vacation. Okay, everybody who wants a vacation, give me one city in the world that you really, really want to visit. One city in the world. Paris, that's Paris. Okay, so people in Paris call it Paris. Switzerland, California, Los Angeles. I have lived in Los Angeles, one of the beautiful places. Amazing, amazing beaches. Switzerland, London, Kashmir. Kashmir is beautiful, yeah. Very, very pretty. London, Leh, Maldives. I stayed in a resort in Maldives called Kurumba, and what a resort it is. Croatia. Okay, somebody said Croatia. Let me quickly see, without taking much time, if you can give me what is the capital of Croatia. Without taking much time, and you do not have to Google it. Without taking much time, what is the capital of Croatia? And I'm going to count till 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, nobody could actually answer. The capital of Croatia is Zagreb, one of the most prettiest cities in the world. Super awesome. Yes, that's Zagreb. Z-G-R-E-B. Okay, I think we are almost about time and we should be starting anytime soon. And let me quickly ask my panelists to start their cameras. So Anju Deoskar, if you're around, please start your camera. Elif Turel, if you are around, please start your camera. We are almost close to 250 in the Zoom. We are already live on Facebook.
Abhishek, you need to let me start the camera. I can't right now.
Did you exit and come back again?
Yeah, because of the power cuts. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Anju Deoskar on your screen, and we are waiting. And that's Elif Turel from Indus International School, Pune. Welcome, both of you. And my request to everybody who's listening to us out there, to appreciate the fact that these two ladies have taken out their time on a national holiday to come and empower you with right information. All right. Please go ahead and give me a big YAY. And that's the way you have been ready always to motivate them. Give me a big YAY in the chat. Let the chat not stop. Let them feel that, yes, you are excited and you're happy to see them online. All right. Super awesome. So I have this beautiful lady sitting in front of me on the camera, Elif Turel. Elif is a Mundus scholar, studied both in France and Sweden, and obtained her double master's degree in European Studies, Society, Politics, and Culture from University of Strasbourg and Uppsala University. Ms. Turel's passion for international education, along with her strong desire for success, helped her build a career as a university and career counselor. Over the last 7 years, she has been guiding thousands and thousands of students year after year to find that perfect career for themselves. Welcome, Elif. It's so good to have you. Elif is the head of guidance and college placements at Indus International School, Pune. How are you feeling, Elif?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good evening to you all, everyone. It's very a kind of exciting opportunity to meet with you all today and see that you are all excited and very in a good shape to see all of you. And also I would like to thank you personally to High School Moms and Abhishek to organizing this session.
Thank you, Elif. And we have my beautiful friend, somebody I really trust and really want to meet after the lockdown is over, Anju Deoskar, Associate Director for Admissions for the Undergrad Programs at one of the finest universities in the country, Flame University, Pune. How are you, Anju?
Hi Abhishek, happy Gandhi Jayanti to everyone. I'm absolutely good and on a holiday. I mean, it's Gandhiji, like you said, wanted everybody to work. So we are working on this holiday and I hope we make the time useful for all the participants.
And so are 300 people listening to you in the Zoom and almost 1,100 people on the Facebook who are listening to you right now. They all are working, and these are the parents who want to listen to both of you so that they can make a beautiful career for their children, right? And like I said, that yes, Gandhi Jayanti is not a day to take it off. It's a day rather to work harder, stronger, because our country today is going through one of the severest so-called downturn in economy because of COVID. And if we don't work, it's not an easy job to bring the country back on track. Okay. So the topic of the day today, ladies and gentlemen, is conventional and unconventional careers through the lens of liberal education. Now, conventional careers we understand. So we understand conventional careers. If your children have taken commerce, you'll talk about BCom and CA. If your children have taken engineering or non-medical, you'll talk about engineering. At best, you can talk about computer engineering. If your child has taken humanities, then you will talk about psychology, and we can go ahead and do a bachelor's in psychology. Very conventional, very, very conventional. All right. The beauty is that some of these subjects can actually lead to beautifully amazing, highly rewarding, super interesting, and yet very successful careers, which are called the unconventional careers, right? And looking at the future after COVID, this unconventional careers will possibly command more value than just the conventional careers. With that, let me ask Anju. Anju, you are the associate director with one of the finest universities in our country. And people generally ask me, because in every session of mine, I will actually take 2 or 3 names. I'll take Flame's name, maybe Kriya, maybe Ashoka at times. But Flame is always on the top of my list. And I generally start with Flame and end with Flame, right? Simple reason is that there are, I have been visiting your campus. I've been talking to you over the years as a university. You yourself have been a Flame parent. Your child has studied in Flame. And I have this strong hope, because when I see your alumni working and I see them successful, it makes me feel phenomenal. You and me understand what is this liberal education. Can you just simply put it for the audience? There are 300 in the Zoom room right now, Anju, a little more than 300. That too on a Gandhi Jayanti. Put it simply for them.
Okay.
What is this liberal education?
So today, I think we should have a simple heart-to-heart talk with the parents and students who are here. Hence, I have a list of things that I'm going to say, even if Abhishek doesn't ask me, I'm going to take that liberty. And to begin with, I think I'm going to tell you a very short story to understand the context from where we're drawing, right? So there's a famous story of the elephant and the 6 blind men. So these 6 blind men in the village are very curious to discover what is an elephant. And they grab a part closest to them and declare that the elephant is a wall. Someone says it's a fan. The other one says it's a rope. The fourth one fights, says, hey, no, it's a pillar, and so on. While each is so convinced of his own version of reality that he fails to understand how others can think so differently. Now, surprisingly, they were all correct, and yet they were so wrong or far from reality probably. So putting this in an analogy form, I mean, if you see an elephant signifies a complex world with probably equally complicated problems around. And trying to solve those problems with a very single perspective or monochromatic lens of, the disciplines that you study, single subjects that you study, it would be like a blind man of the story. Now, liberal education is interdisciplinary in nature. You can choose to study combinations of specialization. When I say combination, you can take finance with psychology, finance with public policy, finance with applied mathematics, finance with film and television management, or with communication study, or sociology, and the list is really wide. So this is liberal education, and because we live in a social system which is not compartmentalized, so I think why should education be compartmentalized? This is something to really think about. And if you have an opinion if you have an opinion of just single view, so it will be just the blind man in the story. And believe me, students, life is not an Excel sheet or an algorithm. It demands a real holistic solutions. And I would just give a very recent example from the past, probably, and these are not my political views. These are some of the academics who kind of responded. You know, the sudden demonetization without understanding the economics of an informal sector, or maybe a sudden lockdown without anticipating the issues of migrant laborers. I mean, these were very unidimensional thinking. So liberal education prepares you for not a job, but multiple careers. That's
Liberal education prepares you not for a job, but multiple careers. I so agree. You know, Anju, you know it that I career counsel, right? You know it that I've counseled almost 30,000 students. I have been behind the life of the parents who come to me. Allow your child to explore. There is no knowledge without college. Why do you have to compartmentalize a child into one domain? Let the child go out there. Yes, the child could have a field of interest and it could be finance, but what better than studying finance with psychology? Because there's something called forensic accounting, which is a career which one can look at, and it is possibly far highly paid career than just becoming an auditor. So, you know, people have to understand that in today's time, and you know, the reason why I really love your university, Anju, actually I have two. One, I love the fact where you are. Okay, you are right inside the valley, and I keep on saying this every time. An artist is as good as the colors and the canvas that the artist has. So if the child is studying for 4 beautiful years in a super beautiful campus, you feel like studying it, right?
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that's one reason I really like your university. The second reason I really like your university is because it's very, very futuristic. You are giving the quality of education which possibly the Ivy Leagues are giving. You are giving the quality of education which is possible in in US, in Canada, which are so-called liberal education countries. You have brought that concept to India, and you were the pioneers. Now, before I ask you questions and you and me discuss more about careers, and I'll also have a lot of things to share, considering that nobody's going to ask me a question. So I'll ask a question to myself and I'll answer that. Let me go to LF. LF, you being a super successful school counselor, you're working with one of the finest schools in the country, Indus International. I have high respect and regards for Sandeep Chhabra sir. He was there on one of our shows earlier. He is phenomenal. He is a leader.
Totally agree. I
that
totally
you
agree.
really want to look up to, and being him as the principal, I'm sure you're just lucky. He is super good.
Yeah, I'm grateful to have a principal like him. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
now my question to you is, what are those skills? What are those parameters which a child should learn to be successful after COVID, or to be successful in the 21st century? Because once you are able to define these skills for me, then I think I'll be in a better position to ask both of you the right careers and whether that career actually relates to that skill. Because it can't be that you are saying that there are certain skill sets that you require for 21st century, but then Flame does not prepare me for those skills. So first you define the skills, and then possibly I'll ask Flame whether they are catering to those skills also or not. Go ahead.
It's a good question, but I wanted to have a look at this from a little bit wider perspective so that our participants can understand where I'm coming from. Because right now we are facing this emerging and changing careers, right? Even now we started to talk more about this 21st century careers. But we should understand that this background, now many experts say that now we are in this fourth industrial revolution. What is that? So this is basically an era which is characterized by these revolutionary and at some level disruptive technologies. 15 to 20 years ago, if you heard of artificial intelligence, if you heard of like machine learning or digitalizations or automation, you will feel that maybe these are a little bit science fictional terms taken from movies or books. But right now, these have all become our realities. And in the years to come, we will see more implications in our daily lives. But what we should really understand is that these technologies impacts on the job market, right? Then we can talk more about the skills. The first of all, the most visible impact is that now we see the loss of some jobs. We have already seen the disappearance of some jobs, especially these manufacturing related production line based jobs. And the second of all, now we see this need of reskilling of some specializations. Big corporations, they've been putting too much of their budget on reskilling and training of their employees, right? And third of all, I guess this is more important for the students and for the topic of today's discussion. Now we have the new type of jobs that we see and we foresee, right? Like if I tell you, like, have you heard of robot programmers, robot trainers? Maybe you would say that, oh, it is futuristic. But the same as what I said when I started, like 20 years before, we never ever discussed data scientists, data analysts. But now data has become the most anticipated phenomenon of our century. These big companies, just like Google or like Facebook, they've been spending all of their monies on how to effectively use data, how to protect data, and how to save data. So, but as a career counselor, I should really point out the fact that there is a huge gap between the knowledge of parents, students on their career choices, and this reality of changing nature. But how can we tackle that? As you ask, like based on all these changes, we should rather like focusing on the requirements of some specializations like professional degrees or discussing what is the best career of 21st century. No, we should focus on skill building. What are the necessary skills for 21st century? Because if the students have these skills, then they could adapt to any changing situation, because we are discussing about the future, something that we don't know. Now I'm talking more about the predictions. So if the students have these skills, whatever the situation is, whether it be a conventional career or unconventional career, they could easily adapt themselves. So these skills are, first of all, problem solving, right? In any changing circumstances, students should really understand how to deal with problems, issues, and critical thinking, creativity, innovation, and last but not least, communication and collaboration. So right now, there is no clear cut between departments. Let's say I'm a computer scientist, but I have to learn how to work with marketing department or finance department. So communication and collaboration. So these are basically some skills that
communication, collaboration, critical thinking, logical thinking. Before I go to Anju, now these are the skill sets required, ladies and gentlemen. You are almost 400 of you. This is way beyond my expectation, Anju. I was expecting about 200, 250 on a 2nd October day. We are almost close to 400. And before I go and ask you, I would like to put something in perspective here. And I'm going to take you through a presentation. And this is not a presentation which is available on my computer. It's actually available. I've just opened it on my drive in my email. This is a presentation I used about 2 years back. But this will so resonate well with what Anju and Elif said that it will set the context, because when Elif started, I started searching for that presentation, which I made about 4 years back. Let me just quickly show you. So if you can see my screen, this was 1960. So in 1960, when the TV just started coming in, this was a presentation I made, Anju, about 4 years back, all right? So when TV started coming in, there used to be this famous cartoon series, okay, which used to come only once a week, and it was called Jetsons.
Yeah,
It
that was one of my favorites.
oh yes, and this was all through the roof. This was the Shinchan of that time. This was the Doraemon of that time. So it was all through the roof. This was the only cartoon series which talked about science fiction. So what did it show in 1960s was, in 1960s, this cartoon series showed somebody talking on the watch, something like Apple iPhone today. It showed somebody doing video conferencing. 1960s, mind you, there was no internet. There were hardly any TVs, right? It showed, and the character in the Jetsons watching plasma TV. When there were no TVs, it showed plasma TV, the LED screen, the thin screen. It showed a gadget that you could use while you could walk and talk, right? This was 1960s. So ladies and gentlemen, while world was slowly moving, something which was fictional, because nobody could imagine that time that this will be your reality today. By the time 90 came, right, all this became reality. We have an Apple Watch. We are video conferencing right now. You are video conferencing right now in your home with me, Anju and LF. You are watching us on an LED screen, and you are right now, unfortunately, also fidgeting with your mobile. So something which was so fictional in 1960s is our reality. And this is how world has changed in last 5 months. Something which was fictional. Fictional was, oh my God, my children do not learn online. They will have to go to the college. They'll have to go to the school. This entire concept has been shaken away, right? They are learning and doing their classes online. Yes, the world will come back to normal. People will want to go to college because there's a lot of peer-to-peer learning, but we have seen a great shift. So with that, let me come to you, Anju. I'll give you an example. How careers have become unconventional. So technology today, the mobile phone today has given democratization of a lot of things. Okay. When I say democratization, what I mean is, till about 5 years back, to become an actor or to become a comedian or to become an artist, a singer, you had to have a surname called Khan or Kapoor, right? So if you had a surname called Khan or Kapoor, okay, you are a born actor, you are a born musician, you are a born talented producer. All of a sudden, technology has changed it all. Kids have become YouTubers. They have started their own channels. There are programs in university like yours. So you have a program which is called Film and Television, right? Can you tell me something about film and television major and what kind of careers can it really lead to?
Sure. So I'll keep coming back to the specialization combinations here to make more meaning and so that students can understand. FLAME offers film and television management as a major or a minor. Now, essentially, these were not the subjects which are taught regularly in many colleges. So we have, and plus, like Abhishek mentioned, we are in such a beautiful place that, we have a studio, we have, the right faculty, visiting faculty right from the entertainment industry who come and speak about their real life experiences and how they learn. So here, if somebody is taking film and television management, they could combine it with, again, psychology, economics, or literary and cultural studies, entrepreneurship, marketing and communication, sociology, become a YouTuber, like you just said, or a script writer. I mean, entertainment industry today is such a vast industry. You can actually start your own channel. There are immense amount of opportunity, and more so, I think, with digital marketing also offered as a subject, there could be some students who club together and start a new venture while they're still in the college. So there are phenomenal amount of opportunities that students can benefit from studying this subject at Flame.
Super. And you know what I want to understand is you talked very beautifully about various combinations.
Sure.
Can you give me some more examples of other combinations available at Flame?
So, see these, okay. So, I mean, there are 22 majors and 22 minors. Now, when I'm taking these combination, for example, you can study economics with literary and cultural studies, or sociology, or film and television. You could study entrepreneurship with sociology, or entrepreneurship with film and television. There are, you study business analytics is something we've just added this year, because also, you know, there's something very important for us to know that, you know, we hear this equally frustrating cacophony from industry that the product of academia is not directly employable, right? They say that people who finish their undergrad, or their academics, have to train in the industry. That essentially comes because, again, people are thinking very unidimensional, and Flame tries to keep updating its curriculum with the changing industry trends. And like I just mentioned, we've added business analytics this year, which you could take as a major or a minor. Or, for example, the critical skills that the students must learn, for example, academic writing, public speaking, financial literacy, mental models, critical reasoning, environmental studies, intro to applied ethics, digital literacy. This is something you got to do, Abhishek. I mean, irrespective, you study journalism with something. These are the skill sets which Elif also very, she emphasized that these are the skills actually that set you for. And this is again coming back that this kind of education doesn't get you ready for a job, but multiple careers. So students, the most important thing for you right now would be to find the right place. I'm not saying come to Flame, find the right place which kind of resonates with the goals that you have for your life. And also, let me tell you, that's going to be the most important decision of your life. Okay, it is
So,
going to be.
Anju, I really don't like this. You know, the fact of the matter is, you guys either which ways gets thousands and thousands of applications.
Applications,
Okay,
yes.
you pick up handful of students. All right.
Yes.
Now, and you are saying, I'm not saying come to Flame. For God's
No,
sake.
see, right now, it's, I think I would like to be very neutral in telling them that please make choices. I love interacting with children. That's something very important. At Flame, it's a beautiful campus. Let me tell you, our selection procedure is again very holistic. We may probably select a student with 80% and who has maybe done some initiative at an NGO or is a good footballer over somebody who's 90%. So again, you know, we tell you what our playing field is, and are you ready to play that game? So there are a lot of things happening. So right now, of course, if you come to Flame, you'll have a fantastic journey, educational journey. And I can say that from two perspectives. My son goes to the university. Of course, he joined there first, and then I've followed him, which he doesn't like at all. But yes, I mean, I can see from different perspective even there.
I can add something there maybe. Like I just remembered one of my students' journey, which is pretty similar in the same line what you told us. I guess you would all agree that there is no job security right now. This is one of the biggest predictions for the future. Like people believe that like students will end up changing their careers maybe twice or three times.
5 times. Research says
maybe more than that.
Says that each of our children will possibly change their careers 5 times. We changed 5 jobs, they'll change 5 careers. That's why you know, after you finish, I have back-to-back career questions, but please go ahead.
So one of my student has actually I'm sure you know this company, Dyson, one of these biggest name companies, and also technology company as well. She started working for Dyson in marketing department. After working 3 years there, she was asked to change the department to strategic planning, which is exactly different than what she's been doing, because in strategic planning, she was asked to deal with data. So, but how could she manage thanks to those skills? If that was someone else, She was a brilliant student. Of course, she has also some other personal traits that she could bring up. But I totally feel that some of the skills that she could build up throughout her education, these were pretty useful when she was asked to change the department. And she had no background in computer science or data. She learned everything on the job. So I guess this really shows what Andrew has been telling about.
So I started my career in the corporate, left that, studied psychology, got into education and then became a career counselor, right? And the beauty about studying, and because I could study abroad, and that time in my days, unfortunately, places like Flame didn't exist, right? Today, at least we can think about studying in that so-called international like university, being there in India and paying Indian money instead of paying in dollars, right?
Oh, yes. And here, Abhishek, I'll just quickly add, when you said international, what is international? International isn't about, it's about the experience we talk about. What is an internet? There's certain, benchmarking that has happened in the industry, educational industry, and then there are rankings. You're at whatever rank you are. The global experience at Flame is amazing. We have students going for summer summer abroad or a semester abroad. The students come here. Our faculty, 80% of them are PhDs. Out of that, 80% are PhDs from the universities all over the thing. So you become an international, a student in an international setup right in your classroom at Flame, because the professor that comes.
So let me understand this. We digressed a little. Let's come back to the careers. And I want to start from where you started and Elif then further extrapolated into it. Conventional careers, we understand, right? All of us understand, and we can always go back and Google about it. There is enough plethora of information on conventional careers. I mean, these people didn't have to come and listen to us on a Saturday, on a Gandhi Jayanti, and that too a national holiday, to come and listen to us. Now, psychology, right? I'm sure a lot of people in this room are possibly thinking that their child should take humanities. A lot of them are also thinking, who takes humanities, man? It is not a great, who wants to study psychology? It will not lead you anywhere, right? So my answer to all those parents who always thought that it is better to be a bad engineer than being a good psychologist, please wake up. Psychology is one field which can be applied to any field whatsoever and is the field of the future. So if your child is studying engineering, still ask your child to go ahead and do something online in psychology.
I have a great example, again, based on one of my previous students. Maybe I can share with you right now.
Yeah, management and psychology is me. Come on.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to come to that, Elif. I'm going to come and take your example. So psychology, Anju, why don't you start first, and Elif, immediately after Anju is over, maybe you can jump in, give your example. And I'm also aware that you had a student who did something amazing with music and psychology.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are interested in music and if you still can study, is there a university in India where you can study music and psychology together? Question
Yes.
for you.
Yes, absolutely. At Flame, you can study psychology and music, psychology and theater, psychology with applied mathematics, psychology with, again, so many combinations that I said. And the careers that draw out of psychology are amazing. You could become an environmental psychologist.
True.
You could become a media psychologist. You study behavior, and you could help somebody plan better marketing strategies because you study the media psychology. You can predict better, right? Criminal psychology, which interests a lot of youngsters these days. Forensic psychology, aviation psychology, and very interesting one is something called as human factor engineering, which basically focuses on human machine interface. Okay, So you're able to design better machines which humans can use better. You need psychology there. It's a technological industry, but still you need psychologists over there. So
So
I
that's what I wanted people to
very
understand. When they think that to get into artificial intelligence, only coders are required and you only need to learn
no.
computer science.
You need psychologists to design a robot.
This is a biggest misconception. Your child with psychology can also work in companies which are manufacturing robots or developing artificial intelligence.
Even linguistics.
True that. Elif, over to you. What do you think? Some innovative careers out of psychology and why psychology is so important for the future?
Yeah, like I can share one of these examples from my previous students, as I said. Like she was, again, a great example, I guess, to be used for these unconventional careers. What she has done, she has started her journey through choosing psychology, which can be assessed as this one of those conventional careers, right? Before going to the college, like she's always been interested in music. She has been playing the violin for almost like 8 years before going to the college. But it was just like her hobby, to be honest. Even though she had this grade 8 level, that was something that she enjoys doing. And just before she graduates, she has completed undergrad and then continued one extra year research. And she has taken art therapy and art and music therapy courses. So what she has done after the graduation from the research master program, now she just started to give private sessions for the patients of one of those clinics for the music therapy. So what she does is pretty unique. She could integrate both of her area of specialization
passion and specialization.
and passion. Now she's been doing pretty well, and like we have many students, right, who are just choosing psychology to become a counselor or to do research. Both are totally fine, but what she has done was something pretty unique. You can't find music or art therapists that much in any country.
Absolutely. And you know, one thing, I'm sorry, I'll have to barge in because we have paucity of time and we'll have to take some more questions. But one thing which is very important for parents to understand here, आप लोगों को लगता है कि सिर्फ साइकोलॉजी पढ़ने से मेरे बच्चे का करियर बन जाएगा, ये भी सही नहीं है. So for those of you who think that BA psychology can lead to a great career, this is not right, because you know, when people come to me, Anju, for career counseling, they often say, मैंने आपको उस webinar पे सुना था. And I laugh it off. I tell them that, did you come to me because you knew that I'm a great career counselor, or did you come to me because I talked well? Right? And then they say that he came to you because you talked well. Because by the time I have not counseled you, how do you know about my knowledge? Right? So the fact of the matter is, we really need to send our children to institutions which can prepare them to talk well. And when I saw your curriculum, Anju, I realized in every course you have communication skills as a program. Every course. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. And that's what parents need to understand, whichever university your child goes to. And that brings to my next question, Elif, and that's to you. But you'll have only 45 seconds to answer. Bang, bang, bang. All right? So that brings to my next question.
I love talking as well, just like you. So just, that's okay.
Okay. So my you know, sense here is, whichever university the child goes to, the child needs to be prepared for next 35 years, not the past 35 years.
Sure.
Right? What are those parameters that you at Indus International tell your children and the kids who are studying at Indus International, that these are 4 or 5 things you should definitely look at before selecting a right university?
To start with, it's not just academic rankings or academic reputation, right? Like, this is something that we've been working with parents and students to have a look at different factors which matters. For instance, institution size, right? Very important, because at personalized level, some students perform well in smaller colleges, smaller setting. Another one is the research opportunities, especially for some majors such as health science. If you are going to biomedical science, you should definitely check the research opportunities, the funding of the university, right? And another one is career services, like especially some of these universities are pretty well known with their amazing career services. If we are checking abroad institutions, even they have specific advisor for international students, because it's different than local students and international students there, right? And another one is facilities. It has two meanings. One is campus facilities, especially like universities, also an experience that students build up their other skills. They have a network. They also improve other type of interest outside the class. But what I mean here is the facilities of the faculty and department for some programs. If you are going to computer science, you have to check computer labs. I had one parent, after visiting the university, they completely changed their mind. So these are important things. Like, even though academics matter, but there are some other layers that you should be aware. And I always say this, diversity. Like, if you're going to a campus, if you're choosing a university, also this is a life experience. So you should really check the diversity of the campus. I believe these are important aspects. Yeah.
You need diversity as it is there in this room today. When we ask people which city are you from, they were from all across the country. So Anju, my question to you is, Elif mentioned 2-3 things which are very, very critical. Facility. I have seen your facility at Flame. Yes, international standard, amazing library, amazing court, great classes, very good residential campus. Second is the diversity. So when you select students, what do you look at? Is there any particular city or state you focus at, or you are looking at having a very healthy combination? Before we go to some career related questions again.
Sure, sure. So like Elif said, I think that's one of the criterias for Flame as well. You want the classrooms to be diverse because they bring in different perspective to a class. You know, too many people from similar background will have similar sort of, you know, they're very predictable in a class in terms of their behavior or even opinions. So we have students across India. We have students from overseas as well. Indians who have been living overseas, lots of those students are with us. So, I mean, if you see diversity, I think India is the most diverse country. I mean, somebody from Chandigarh and somebody from Chennai, I mean, they bring completely different experience in a class. I mean, their culture is completely different. So yes, we represent, the university represent almost 100 plus cities from India and abroad. And yeah, so it's very, very diverse. Absolutely, that's one of the criteria.
And Anju, one thing that I would like to add, this is something that I really like about Flame, the teaching methodology. Like how you teach, like, because we used to have these big lectures, right? But now we are having this new type of teaching methodologies, such as working in tutorials, seminars. So, like, I guess this is pretty unique about
Flame. You know, what I really liked, Elif, I was speaking to the digital marketing team at Flame, and guess what? I realized I'm speaking to the student.
Absolutely.
I was taken by surprise. I mean, people are learning on the job. So the students are actually handling Flame's digital marketing.
So not students, Abhishek. So one of our student or our own digital marketing student, he finished his academics, of course. He set up his company and he manages. He's our vendor now. I mean, he manages.
And I also know that you have an incubation lab for people to open their startups.
Absolutely.
Right?
So okay. we have a lot of them. Not only you know, we have mathematical modeling lab. You have entrepreneurship lab, investment lab. So in fact, you know, one of our very eminent professors, Maya Dodd, I heard her talk in one of the sessions. She says Flame is a laboratory. People explore, experience, success, failure, learning, unlearning. So Flame is actually a laboratory for students. They have freedom to explore. They do lots of things, and which is, I think, the role of a university today. And I'll give you one example very quickly here. Trisha Patel did double majors in applied mathematics and environmental studies. Okay. She works on building mathematical models around environmental challenges like judicious use of water, amongst others. She graduated as a gold medalist. Interestingly, she was a humanities student. She had not studied maths in her high school. How do you do that?
Absolutely. That's the beauty. So
Faculty and pedagogy of teaching and learning is not up to the mark. You can't, because math is just a feared thing. I mean, some people are really passionate. For others, they just are waiting. Okay, this is my last year to drop math. She might have been one of those. And because in the first year, foundation year, she explored. I mean, first year is about doing a lot of subjects, all these majors and minors that I keep talking about. So you have to pick up some subjects, some courses from all those subjects during your first year. And she just realized that the way you learn in Flame was completely different. She developed a passion, and she did majors in applied mathematics. Isn't
so one question that I definitely get most of the time is, I ask kids, what do you want to do? And they will say, I want to start my own venture. Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes.
One question that definitely comes now, the moment I hear, so they will say, I want to start my own venture. I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to create something of my own. My next question is, what do you want to start? And they are blank, right? They're completely blank. So it is one thing that you want to start a business. It is another thing to know what do you want to do the business in, right?
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this question, Anju, and then we'll go to Elif. Let me ask you this question, because I know Elif wanted to say something. Entrepreneurship, right, studying entrepreneurship can lead to successful businesses.
Absolutely.
What kind of businesses? I'll leave that to you to answer. So why don't you tell me what are the various majors and minors available if I want to come and study entrepreneurship? Is it possible that Flame will be able to give me a line of business also?
Absolutely. So the thing is, again, I'll give you real examples because that will add conviction to people who are listening as well. So this student called Sahil Doshi, he took entrepreneurship with design. Okay. Sahil used his learnings from design minor, especially to conceptualize design. He applied them in his business of manufacturing and exporting high quality branded shoes to Milan. That's his business, right? Now, Sahil had a vision. He knew what he wanted to do, but there are students who draw inspiration from such peers. I mean, you have all of them around you. We have an incubation lab, an investment lab, and the entrepreneurship lab where the industry investors, successful business people, people who are coming up with new startups, people who believe in new initiatives, they all come together and support the students to bring up to put up the startup, to have their own startups. And for this, of course, you have to have some vision because, one thing is, Abhishek, you're doing something. I may not be doing something, but I'm watching you, right? And this is a university. So peer learning plays such a huge impact in building the whole synergy in the environment, the learning environment of the university. That itself adds so much of value to the programs like these.
So, Elif, you wanted to say something. I mean, why don't you just jump in and complete that before we go on?
What I wanted to say was about like making a career decision at the age of 18 is pretty difficult. I'm sure everyone would agree on this, right? And not everyone might have a very clear path of what they wanted to do, and this is totally fine. And students and parents should understand that. What I really like about liberal arts education is that in the first year, whichever college that you choose, in the first year, you're exposed to different areas of interest. You can choose a course in natural science, and you can get a course in literature or visual arts. And then you will have an extra time and to really understand which are the things that you really like to do and what are the things that you can be really successful. And then you get your specialization. So this is a pretty unique concept. And I totally advise parents and students to check more about this liberal arts education philosophy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a school counselor speaking. That's not a Flame representative. This is a career counselor of repute speaking. Again, not a Flame representative. Whether it is about Flame or anybody else, liberal education is the future. Allow your child to study multiple subjects at the same time. Maybe the child is picking one major and one minor, but that can open multiple domains and careers for that particular child. Coming back, another example that I can give you how these major and minor works and can lead to amazing careers. So let's say somebody wants to start a business, but is not aware. So a kid wants to start a business, but is not aware what kind of business can I get into. Imagine studying entrepreneurship and digital media. Now, if nothing else, the kid knows how to start a business, how to get the funding, how to get started. But the kid also understands digital media and marketing. So if nothing else, 4 or 5 of friends who have the same major and minor can get together, and without even bothering about taking the headache of hiring and cost and paying salaries, these 4 or 5 of them can actually start their own digital media agency. Right?
And from the entrepreneurship lab right in the college. I mean,
and from the entrepreneurship lab right in the college. Wonderful. So that's amazing. Okay. Now, another important thing that I really want to talk about is when we talk about computer science, why is that everybody feels that it is only and only to do with coding? Is there something more to computer science than coding? Anju, what kind of major and minors are possible through computer science? Is there a concept of major and minor? And if it is not, what are the various topics that you teach in computer science for the kids who have no background of computer science?
So, this year Flame has started offering BSc in computer science. Our curriculum mapping is such that we map our computer science program to finest universities abroad. So when it comes to what they're going to study, it is something which we don't like to even compare to the conventional university, honestly speaking. So those with technical interest may find roles as, application designer and developers, consultants, entrepreneurs. But the road less taken when you study computer science would be probably computational mathematician, stock market, space sciences, robotics again, system analysis. So there are so many opportunities for students, again, going back to unconventional careers. So computer science doesn't mean that you've got to do just kind of, very the conventional careers of just, maybe studying some data and analytics or developing some apps and application. There's so much more behind. I mean, you would probably, the other day we were talking, add upon how stock market works on people who've studied computer science.
Absolutely. Stock market. So mathematics is a core part, and I'm very happy that, somebody in this country is talking about computational mathematics. So ladies and gentlemen, computational mathematics is a field of study where computers and mathematics meet. Okay. And this is a field which is of keen interest by stock markets. It is a field which is of key interest by consultants, anybody and everybody who needs to work with algorithms and predict. And stock markets, generally we say that stock markets are future oriented, which means that when COVID was supposed to set in, the markets crashed. The peak came later because stock markets are always futuristic in nature. Now, when the COVID is at its peak, the markets are again going back high, right? That's simply because markets are now expecting that sometime in future, COVID will settle down and the economy will come back on track. So you have to understand, somebody has to look at those algorithms and with smoothness and panache, predict the future about the markets. And that's where computation.
So, I'll just add here, Abhishek. So we have Flame Center for Mathematical Modeling, okay? And the aim of the center is to promote teaching and research in applied mathematical sciences, including social sciences. Okay. Now, what you spoke about is it's all cross. They're cutting across paths. It's not in silos, right? So, with particular emphasis on cross-fertilization and adaptation of ideas, of techniques that come from various disciplines. So, you just have to have interest to do something. The university offers phenomenal support for all these things. Phenomenal is the word.
So let me ask, so we talked about computer science, we talked about various careers emerging out of psychology, we talked about various ways you can start your business by studying entrepreneurship and digital media, entrepreneurship and design. You can launch your own design studio. Amazing. So these are some amazing unconventional options which we generally don't think about, because हमारा दिमाग चलता है BBA करेगा, उसके बाद SIM card बेचेगा या credit card बेचेगा. We generally don't think beyond that, right? So these are very good ways. And ladies and gentlemen, let me put this on record. I am in discussions with Anju Dioskar because I'm really looking at bringing funding for the tool that High School Moms wants to launch. And I've been discussing with Anju that is there a way that we can work out a mechanism where High School Moms can get further incubated into the Flames incubation lab, or can actually make use of the investment lab of Flame. So how much I can, I'm banking upon Flame is there. Also, my couple of quick announcements here. There is a form in your chat right now for those of you who are interested to know about Flame. For those of you who are interested to apply to Flame, maybe this year or next year, go out there and fill it, and we will definitely put it across to Flame and share the data. Last question before we call it a day. It's a national holiday, so we have to wrap it up in an hour. There are various people who want to study mass communication, media, or journalism, right? Unfortunately, अगर मेरे टाइम में मैं अपने डैड को बोल देता मुझे जर्नलिज्म पढ़ना है तो थप्पड़ मार के बिठा देते, बिकॉज उनके हिसाब से आज भी चलने वाला जर्नलिस्ट है, right? So, sorry?
I agree.
Yeah, you agree. She understands Hindi. Yeah, so I understand that now. Okay. Now, my question to both of you is, what kind of amazing careers can emerge out of if somebody even studies journalism? Okay. One, I'll suggest journalism and digital media. You can possibly start a PR firm and a consulting firm or a mass communication firm, right? Or you can work in any of them. Any other careers that you can think of?
So again, journalism, again, a student who's picking up journalism can study business analytics or finance or human resource management or operations or environmental studies, public policies, journalism and public policies. Do you know what kind of, international career opportunities students can have, or even with mathematics or psychology? And they can actually craft their own career journey, become a cyber culture journalist or business method journalist, environmental journalist. There's so many ways, but the most important is, again, when you suppose doing journalism with operations and you work with some big, media company where maybe you're gathering news or something. So there's operation part, which is huge. So you can club that as a minor with your journalism, and again, it broadens your horizon. And even Abhishek here, beside journalism, individuals with, little analytical and quantitative skills, people who are little bent towards that, can become, quality improvement analysis, data miners, evaluation specialists. They're, clinical and public health researchers. It's a huge market today. Public health is something, there's so much of funding in this market, but people, it's not a conventional career. So if you study liberal arts and you have had such a broad spectrum of understanding, careers are that you can choose what you want to do. And again, coming back, not a job, but multiple
jobs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, what you also need to understand is, there are certain universities now in India which even offer environmental studies.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
Now you need to understand environmental studies is a great field for the future, especially if you can study with something else. Let's say if you can combine environmental studies and international studies, you can't even imagine the crazy amount of career options you can open.
And abroad, not only in India. I mean, this is something which the world appreciates. Whether you're studying business and, environmental, I think today every company runs, they have some, budgets to kind of, support the environment in so many ways. So yes, environmental studies is again a very popular subject.
And allow your children to go out there and even study applied mathematics. I'll tell you, we don't realize if you study mathematics, you will not necessarily become a teacher. Today, the best of the banks, the best of the consulting companies, whether it is JP Morgan Chase or Daimler's of the world or PricewaterhouseCoopers of the world, they are hiring people with applied mathematics. So you really need to look at that. My suggestion is you should go out there and Flame has a beautiful page where they have mentioned under their academics, major minor combinations. My request to you is
Please look it up.
For
Look it
heaven's
up.
sake, for the betterment of your child, forget about looking at the Flames application. The first thing that you need to look at is the major minor combinations which are possible in the world.
And please check to the first year foundation, which is, I guess, more.
I'm putting the link.
Yes.
I'm putting the link in the chat. That's the link to the major minor combination. You will go crazy. You would have never imagined that my child can study psychology along with digital media. My child can study psychology along with finance. So if your child is good in accounting but bad in economics, why the hell do we need to go for a BCom? Why can't we just make him study finance
Absolutely.
with psychology, right? Or if your child is good in economics but struggles with accountancy, why the hell do you need the child to still do BCom? It will be full of accounting, right? Just make the child study economics with something else. So think about careers: economics plus psychology, behavioral economics, economics plus
international studies, public policy. I mean, there's such beautiful subjects.
Beautiful careers
Yes,
that
and
can
careers.
emerge. All right, so this was a great discussion. I also want to tell you guys that I'm holding a session on scholarships, how to apply for scholarships in India or outside India. It's happening on 4th, which is day after tomorrow. Please go out there and register for that session. That's the second announcement I wanted to make. That's right there in your chat. And I'll be talking about loads of scholarship. I'll also tell you how scholarships at Flame works. If you are looking at applying for some, they are merit-based, blind, not so merit-based, need-based. I'll explain it all because today was not the time to talk about Flame much. We had to take some examples, so we kept on talking about Flame. And like I said, as a career counselor and like Elif as a school counselor, we really believe in the quality that Flame offers. And you do not have to believe us. The only link that possibly you need to worry about is one, filling up the form if you want to hear from Flame. And second, go out there and look at this link and open your thought process. Open yourself to the future. Open yourself to the world. You can study one thing along with multiple other things and make your child successful. This is no rocket science. This is no gyan. With that, let me take closing comments from Anju Deoskar and Elif. And Elif, why don't you go first? Your closing comments. What do you want to tell to the people who came? Almost 350 people came in. Even after an hour, almost close to 300 are still holding on to this room. Any message from your side for these people?
For the closing comments, I advise all students and parents just not to stick on one thing in their mind. Always be more open-minded, especially when it comes to career options. Because right now the world has become a place of all these uncertainties. So we should be more open-minded in terms of finding the right fit. So we should be looking at different career options and also the interest that we can take. And I believe that whether it could be in India or abroad, do your research pretty well.
Very good. Anju, over to you. Your closing comments, please.
So students, I think there is no one size fits all solutions, okay? Similarly, if you're considering new opportunities, please keep it open. Amazing career opportunities come in all shapes and sizes in today's economy. Liberal education, again, is a way forward where, I mean, here I'd definitely like to quote, nobody spoke about NEP. I mean, it's literally the marketing brochure of Flame. It literally looks like that. I mean, whatever we're doing for the last 10, 12 years, I mean, it's exactly, they're talking about interdisciplinarity. So do explore and choose very wisely. It's going to be the most important decision. And should you opt for Flame, you're most welcome to. Please go onto the website, download the brochure, and some of our program advisors will get in touch with you.
So thank you so very much, Anju. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll put my word. As a career counselor, one thing that I can suggest you is, please prepare your child for the future and not the past. Stop looking at future from the lens of past. Past glories do not make us successful. Being agile, being open to new ideas, ready to learn, ready to unlearn and learn again. That's what the child is supposed to learn to be successful in the future. And for that, we really need to prepare the child in a place which can nurture the child for next 4 years, can provide the child with that kind of an opportunity where the child can not only learn newer technologies, newer skill sets, creativity, communication skills, but also is able to utilize those skill sets in a real life format through internship, through labs, through clubs. So that's the reason why I am ready to put my neck on the line. I know for years after years, you've been coming to high school moms to listen to me. And if I have never recommended anything to you, today, let me put my neck on the line. Let me tell you, whether you apply to Flame or not, it doesn't matter. But one page on the Flames website that you definitely need to run, that you definitely need to read, and that you definitely need to sleep over is this major and minor combination. That one page will tell you how great a university Flame is. With that, thank you so much, Anju Dioskar. Thank you, LF, for joining us. And for everybody who's listening to us, thank you so very much for taking out time on 2nd of October and joining us. I look forward to see you on 4th of this month, that is day after tomorrow, for a session on scholarships and more. Also, please follow High School Moms on Facebook. If you are a mom, go out there and put your membership request there. It will ask you for 2-3 questions. Please subscribe to the Facebook group. If you are a father, motherhood has no gender. You can also become a high school mom. Just that you need to follow us on the Facebook page and on Instagram page. And if you want to follow me, my handle on Instagram is abhishekgupta.coach. With that, have a great evening. Whatever is left, make the best of it. Stay indoors, stay safe. Until next time, this is Abhishek Gupta signing off for now.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Good night. Okay, just a quick group photograph. Anju, LF. Because while we talk, it really comes shabby. Okay, wait. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you, guys. Look forward to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank